Alright guys, I'm back with my video response to episode 263 and another fine episode from the hosts there. Thoroughly enjoyed it and yeah, fantastic show. It's bloody hot here in Australia and it's only just starting. Summer starts tomorrow. Actually no, summer starts today. It's the 1st of December here and wow, see I'm sweating, beating off. Got my old man handkerchief to I'll tell you what, if I turn on that amplifier behind me, sit in this room with the computer on and everything, it gets hot. I mean hot. I'm going to have to venture out into other parts of the house. Watch out. So, let's start off. To start off, let's celebrate 263 with a good drink. I found this, a very expensive can of drink. It's like $5. But let's try Cherry Dr. Pepper. First time I'm trying it. It's pretty good. Not as good as the original, but pretty good all things considered. So, let's get into it, guys. I might just break this up into little bits because it's getting hot in this room, and if I turn the aircon on, it just gets a bit loud for the microphones. I guess I could get a noise gate in that. But anyway, let's get to it. Let's talk about Pipes and his barter. Barter there, a Shure 55 mic. Now I'm wondering, is it the Super 55 you have, or is it the 55SH. Now I'm guessing it's not the 55SH because your voice was clear. It seemed like the bottom end was rolled off a little bit because you have quite the deep voice, and it didn't sound like you were kind of like an AM radio. The funny thing is, because I have, as people have seen, I don't know if Pipes has seen it, but I have a limited edition, special edition Super 55, which I would use with these videos, but once again guys, do not buy the top of the line Logitech webcams. They're stereo mics, screw it up no matter what audio interface you try to put into it. Try 3 different sound cards, get this weird phasing effect, maybe I should try stereo micing it, could be different. So, yeah, this is a really cool microphone, mainly for the looks, guys, mainly for the looks. But I could hear Pipes' voice is different. I wouldn't say this is an upgrade, seeing you had that MXL large diaphragm condenser. No way in the world are you going to get a better sound out of this dynamic mic in a sort of closed-in studio environment than you will out of a condenser. No way. But they do sound really, really good with the right amount of EQ, bit of compression, noise gate. These things are pretty cool microphones. And surprisingly, the elements in them, the capsule's pretty strong too for a dynamic microphone, which is quite surprising. So this microphone here, which I'm guessing is the same as Pipes there, so congratulations. If anyone out there is watching and wants to know about it. So the Super 55 and the 55SH are completely different microphones, They own the same classic sort of small birdcage enclosure, mic case, whatever you want to call it. However, they internals are completely different. And in my opinion, the 55SH sounds like absolute rubbish. You got to get right up on it. It feeds back easy. It's just annoying. It looks good though, and that switch on the front, that might have been good for back in the days, but you don't need that anymore. This one is completely different. This has a Beta 58 capsule in it, element, whatever you want to call it, cartridge, mic cartridge. So it's like an updated SM58. Cartridge, mic cartridge in there, and it sounds a bit better. It's got a low frequency roll off at around, I think it's around 70 to 80 hertz. Little bump, I can't remember where it is. I think it's 2K or so for articulation in the voice, and it sounds pretty good. Sounds a lot better with female voices, I've noticed. But all in all, it's a pretty cool microphone. So, and this is what you've got, Pipes. I recommend only if you have the Super 55, not the original because you'll burn it out. I recommend you do my LED mod, which is in my signature on my forum posts everywhere, and throw a few in there. Phantom power, light it up. Why not? Why not light it up? Makes it cool. Doesn't change the sound at all or anything like that, and yeah, works off phantom power. Cool. But I did notice that your voice has changed a fair amount. So. It's pretty cool. I think it does help you a lot because you're you've got that low end, which is a little bit boomy sometimes with the microphone you're using before. When that microphone rolls off the low frequency a bit, sounds pretty cool. Anyway, I'm rambling on about this way too much, but I thought that was really cool that you did get the bartering for that champ to exchange for these microphones. Now, it's not the best sounding microphone, but it's a damn good sounding one, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to have, and I know what you mean about putting it up on a stand properly and everything, so I'll explain to the people out there in Blissland how annoying these mics are. Now, I know people stick to tradition. Personally, I couldn't give two craps about tradition, okay? Let's move forward. Let's move along. Let's not worry about this, what was and might have been from the past, because look at how you put it onto a mic stand. That's a threaded piece in this metal here. And the problem is, because that's so close there, where you put in your mic lead, the real issue is that firstly, you have to make sure you're putting in specific types of mic leads. If you get those really chunky, hardcore ones, they're not going to go in, because this is going to screw in on your mic stand, and then you've only got, what would that be? 3 mil, maybe maximum, maybe 2.5 mil of gap to play with the plug. So, you put your XLR in there, and you've got to really watch out. And then when you put it on your stand, it's got to sit a certain way, and it can't be too low, or your cable will bend through. And you've got to really think about that with these microphones. Which I think is a big problem. How hard is it just to change the bottom bit, make it a bit wider if they want to stick to that tradition? But anyway, that's my issues with it. The other issue is with these is plosives too. The element's right up against this grill cloth, and it's actually a dodgy foam, and it's just too close to do it any good. So you sing just a little bit above it, or you really practice on your plosives and symbols, because you can train yourself to have less of it and that sort of thing. So, but all in all, the look of it, you can't go past the look of that classic microphone. You cannot. And it is hot. You cannot go past the look of that microphone. Cool stuff there. What's next on my list? Yes, I got the iPhone 5. I know. They sucked me in. The 3GS was dying. It was doing a lot of weird things. So I cracked. So quickly, because I'll break up these videos. Pipes' concert, that was cool. Really, really cool to hear how it went and everything. And especially talking about Skinny Jim and his band, how good they are and that sort of thing, and how he's got like really lively. And I thought that was a really good description, sort of in your mind, that you picture these things as you're listening to it, and that's really cool. Super Suckers put on a great show. It's awesome. And then your son hung out with them. I'm not sure it was later on or whatever, and got a drumstick from Skinny Jim's band. Oh, that's pretty cool. I could only imagine as a child how excited you'd be to get it off these, especially, I wasn't obviously in the bar, but being around those people in that atmosphere must have been fantastic for him. So lucky guy, Shane. You're a lucky individual. But yeah, that's cool. Thanks for the update there, Pipes. And let's go to our next topic here. It's getting hot, so you may see me in a different room or something. So let's get on to something very important now. Yes, I'm on a different camera. I'm using a Samsung supposedly HD. It's just a little handheld camera. I'll throw in a picture. Don't buy it. So anyway, what I really want to talk about is balding. Yes, sometimes, like Dave McLeod said, Pipes, this is your only option right here. You can't beat it. They make them, this is cordless now, charge it up, it's good for an hour. As you noticed, I shave my head. But what you probably haven't noticed is I'm not going bald. I'm not going bald whatsoever. Thank the good Lord for that. So, but I choose to shave my head because like you said, you're tight with the old cash. I'm a little tighter. I don't want to pay for a haircut. Haircuts cost a fortune. Here, to get a decent haircut's around $30. And my hair grows that fast and I always get it cut short. I get a haircut every 2 to 3 weeks. So now I just shave it myself. I just shave it off, get the pointy sideburns going so it looks like I've been to the barber. Get my girlfriend or a friend to fix up the back. Done. Every 2 weeks, get this thing out, over my head. Sweet. So Pipes, and you get, some of them you get a nice carry bag, and well, it's all falling apart. All the accessories, I don't know if you can see that clearly. That may be your only saving grace. A friend of mine's actually going bald, and he's got the whole comb over thing happening, and he's 6'6", but you can still see it. I see it. I'm 5'9". Am I? 5'10", something like that. Maybe I'm smaller. So, and I look up at the guy. I can still tell he's gone bald. Just don't get self-conscious about it. Embrace it. Be a man and just shave it off, because at the end of the day, it's going to fall out anyway. So I do, I can't say I understand because I'm not bald, but I shave my head. I always thought I had a funny shaped head, which I probably do, but yeah, shaving your head, it's the best solution I can offer you. It's the best solution that other people can offer you. Get one of these. This was, here in Australia, it was 40 bucks. Shaved my head twice. That's less than 2 haircuts for me. Less than 2 haircuts. This thing's paid off itself. Had this for probably about 6 months, maybe 7 months. Save money. Save the money. But dude, yeah, I am hoping I don't go bald, but I guess everyone will go bald eventually. I've seen some ladies on the train. They're going bald. But hey, you can do what other people do. They haven't got much hair on their head, so they have a goatee all the time. Makes you feel any better. I've got a full head of hair. I can't grow a goatee. It's just fluff. So, but anyway, dude, don't be embarrassed about it. Get some clippers. We'll support you. And bliss on. Alright guys, let's talk about RiffStation. Now, RiffStation is really interesting program there. If anyone's wondering, I'm using my iPhone to record this, so let's hope it works out. RiffStation reminds me of a program that I used many years ago, but I'm really not good at picking things by ear. That's called Seventh Heaven. It's pretty much the same as that. We'll try to guess the chords that you used. You can kind of hone in on the guitar scene a little bit better, but it's not as in-depth as this. What I really like about RiffStation is how it comes up with the chord diagrams and that sort of thing. But I think one of the biggest advantages of it, apart from what it's actually meant to do, teach you songs, teach you how to get parts of songs. Sorry guys, I'm sweating like a pug. So, but the biggest advantage, I think, is it teaches you how to search for those frequencies that you want to bring up, like search for the guitar or take the guitar out, things like that. Push other frequencies in and out. So that's teaching you how to use a parametric EQ. And to me, that's pretty impressive. People may not realize that, but the first time you try to use a parametric EQ, you don't know what's going on. Well, I don't anyway. But yeah, looking at that and going in, and I think the understanding about parametric is it's not about really boosting signals, it's taking out problems that you have. That's the way I see it anyway. So it's really, really cool program, RiffStation. I'm really impressed by it. I might shell out the money one day. It's a bit pricey. What I use to work out songs by ear, I just use music players in Windows or on the Mac. So on my phone, I just use iTunes Player, which is the music player, and you can set it at half speed. Now that might change the pitch a little bit, but for practice and for basically, you know, finding notes, it's not actually that bad. Chords is a bit funny, but finding solos and things like that, it's pretty good. Same with Windows Media Player. You can set it at slower speeds, so you can slow it down and just keep repeating it. And I like the visual aspect of having a slider bar. But I would much prefer RiffStation, so maybe one day I'll be able to part with the money for that. It's kind of funny. I mean, you'll spend, well, as a guitar player, like you'll spend money on items like that are physical items. Like you'll buy a cheap pedal that you probably won't really use much. You think, oh, that's great, you know, 50 bucks, I'll buy that. But you won't spend it on software, which is funny. But that's just how we are. You know, you want something tangible you can touch. But I'm very impressed with RiffStation. Extremely impressed. So one day maybe I'll get it. Maybe I will. I might actually download the demo version when I want to work out a song and hopefully get it done in 30 days. So anyway, guys, that was a pretty cool review. Really enjoyed it. So let's talk about the Strymon Bucket Brigade pedal. I thought that was a cool review, and it's really interesting because that pedal does not look like its DSP run, program, whatever. But regardless of that, it sounds phenomenal. I think it's pretty cool pedal. I had a couple of looks on YouTube and that sort of thing, and the demos they've got there along with yours, PT, and I think that's a pretty cool pedal. I like the bucket lost effect, and I think that's great. That's really awesome. It's quite a complex pedal, isn't it? There's a lot of control on there. It's interesting what Pipe said as well. I don't use delay very often at all. I use delay on vocals. On the guitar, I don't know what I'm doing with the delay pedal. Many times I've looked up how to use delay, basically, with guitar. And like Pipes, I guess, is saying there's two extremes that people do. What I do is like, I want to hear an effect. When I have a new effect, pedal, or anything, I want to hear it, so I go from nothing to the extremes. If I have a distortion pedal, I crank up the distortion. I want to hear what it's actually doing. I think that's the biggest problem with a lot of modulation pedals or reverbs, especially really those in delay. If you're new to effects and that sort of thing, or those type of effects that's in the effects loop, people want to hear what they're doing. But in a sense, it's not really an effect that's obvious. It's an effect that gives more space and gives more, I guess, could you say volume? Not really volume. More oomph to your tone, or more presence to your tone, so that you don't want people to be aware of it. What you want is just for people to listen to it and say, you know, that sounds really cool, that sounds full, lifelike, and fantastic, rather than just, you know, a signal without it. I guess they're the two trains of thoughts. With delays, I get really confused with all the settings on them as well. What I don't like, the delays I've had the most experience with are in my TC Electronic G Major 2. Like I was saying before, the lack of controls on it, you know, having to go into one setting and then a couple of clicks use the same wheel for the next couple of clicks, and you don't really see what you're doing. I find that confusing. That's why I bought that Line 6 M5 modeler. One of the biggest things is to learn how to use a lot of effects. So the screen, individual controls, tells you what it's actually doing, where that parameter is up to. And so that's why delay has been sort of confusing for me. Something like, I put it into effects too. I think it's like you guys were saying, it's the balance between being obvious and not being obvious, having the right amount of mix and where it sits in, you know, in relation to the stereo field or in the background of the signal, just to fill things up. Or like the Edge uses a lot, you know, to really push those notes and have them repeat, so it sounds like there's, you know, more than one guitar playing, or they're doing things, players are doing things that you don't think are humanly possible, but they've got delays there, you know, doing that work for them, which is kind of cool. I've seen people use delays where they use them before their distortion pedals, and in turn, what they're actually doing is they're doing harmonies and that sort of thing. So there's one guitar player, but they're playing sort of riffs and harmonies. So then, as it repeats, they play the harmony over that, and then they go back and forth. So it sounds like two guitars doing harmonies and that sort of thing. So, which is really, I think, is a really cool idea. But yeah, me using delays, I'm getting into it a little bit. I tend to do it so it's just sort of in the background, fills the space, nothing too obvious and weird. But it sometimes is cool to crank it up, especially with the modulation effects on delay pedals. But that pedal there, it's really, really cool. Really, really like it. Not sure if I could justify $300 for it. In saying that, a lot of boutique pedals in Australia are $300 anyway. Some are more. I've seen some in music stores for $450. That's a rip-off. It's not. Like, I know a lot of work goes into these things, but you can't expect people to pay that kind of money. You know, the average working person doesn't have that kind of money to spend on effects. And to be quite honest, guys, it's not worth it. Mass-produced pedals, as good as anything else out there, I think better quality than a lot of boutique pedals, and fraction of the price. But anyway, back to the review. I thought it was really cool. Some nice examples in there as well. But yeah, it's interesting. I remember when I was getting into circuits, reading about how delay pedals work, and people complaining, old analog delays. People either complain, they either love it or hate it. They love the signal loss in the repeats, or they hate it. And I read up, you know, it's the amount of capacitors that it goes through. And yeah, capacitors, you know, in the audio world are made to shape the sound. That's how your crossovers are made and things like that. That's how your tone circuit works. You know, it feeds in a certain amount of that cap in line with the signal coming out. So that's the way it works. And you can't really do too much to to stop that effect from happening, rolling off those highs, and going through various capacitors. So it's but yeah, having a pedal like that where you can go between both of those signals, from digital, I guess digital delay to analog delay, is really cool. I prefer digital delay personally. I like to hear the notes. If I want to drown it out a little bit, I'll just get a reverb on there as well. So, but yeah, I really like that. Sometimes it's a shame you got to give those pedals back, isn't it? But it's the way the string vibrates, I guess, guys. So yeah, cool review. Thank you very much. So let's talk about the Cowler guitar that PT is getting made. I've read the review on the guitar notes there about it. Is really interesting. The shape, I really dig the shape and the carves in, or the bevels, whatever they are. I'm just looking now on the website, and it's chambered as well, I believe. It's a really interesting concept on guitar making. I like in the article he said he sort of loved the Fender and Gibsons, but then he hated them as well, so he decided, you know what, I'm going to make my own. Based off the ideas of these heritage guitars, I'm going to make my own the way I think it should be. A body shape the way I think it should be as well. And what's that Spanish cedar that they used for the wood? Really interesting. I've never been able to hear the difference between tone woods. I just go with what people say, supposedly, for that music. I don't think I'd be bothered, to be quite honest. My guitars are all mahogany or variation of mahogany, sepal or sapale, whatever it's called. They're all like that. I think my Telecaster one I sold was ash. I don't even know. I didn't even know what it was. Sound like a telly though, so that's all that really mattered. And I don't even know what my acoustic's made of. I guess it would make a much bigger difference with the acoustic. But that guitar is rubbish anyway, so I don't know how much the wood would really help it. I really think it's the design and the shape of it. But anyway, back to your guitar, BT. I really dig it. I really like it. And it's interesting with that top wood, which I can't quite remember the name of. I'm looking at it right now. How it's got the imperfections in there. I like how he sort of says it's got the imperfections, and it's not like spalted maple, which I didn't know was rotting away at the wood, and that's how it gets those imperfections. I really like the look of spalted maple, but yeah, really cool looking guitars. I like the offset shape, sort of Jaguar-esque shape to them. I can't stop looking at them. That's why I'm not looking at the screen. Interesting, you went with P90s for your pickup. Cool idea there. I have to admit, the only P90 I've had experience with is with the pickup on my Benford, which I still haven't gotten around to changing. I'm not sure if I'll still change it yet because I've managed to push my EQs and things like that to make it work properly. But it's quite an interesting flavour, you could say, the P90. It is in between, and I do like the tone. It does buzz a bit for me, which is a bit annoying. It's probably in this room, but yeah, it's really cool guitars. Really cool interview. I'm looking forward to reading the next one in the next edition of the Guitar Note. And yes, thank you for giving me my free edition of the Guitar Note. People there, that was a really nice thing you guys did. I actually forgot that I paid for the issues. Completely forgot about it. Actually, completely forgot about the Guitar Note. I know you probably don't want me to say that, but I'll stop here. There's a spider. Oh, it's gone. All right. But yeah, you probably don't want to hear me say that I forgot about the Guitar Note, but it was a long time. However, it's back and better than ever, better than the first issue, I guess. A lot of content in there, so cool stuff, guys. Really like it, really appreciate it. I read it on the train on my phone, and it works really well on the phone. Nice and clear, easy to read. I get Siri to read it to me because I'm lazy. Anyway, so I'm just going to go. It's getting hot. I've had enough. I'm all hot and bothered. I'm going to throw a tan to you, but let's talk about the two songs in the episodes. I really enjoyed that song by Skinny Jim and the Number 9 Black Tops. That was cool. I've got the Horsepower CD, which I won somehow, and Pappy sent it to me. I can't remember how. And it's a little bit different from it, a little bit more aggressive, and even the vocals are a little bit different. I like it a lot. That was cool stuff. Really enjoyed the track. And Neil McDougall's track at the end, which is... yeah, I like Neil's stuff, and I think I've heard that song before, Empathy, from Neil. I think he played it on another podcast. But yeah, I see Neil pop up in the Facebook feed every now and then. I don't really check Facebook very often, but I I really liked it, guys. So anyway, I'm going to just cut it off there. Sorry this video is all over the place. I'm all hot and bothered. So guys, fantastic episode. Thanks again, and bliss on.